and welcome everybody to my new podcast episode. My name is Cathi and I'm a coach for the twin flame process and for your personal growth. So today I want to talk about the characteristics of a false twin and the main characteristics so that you can get to know the differences between your twin flame and your false twin if you have one in your life. And yes, you can write a comment if you want. You can write an email to info@twinflamelove.de, or you can have a look at our website www.twinflamelove.de. And on the right side in the line above, you can switch the language to English so that you can have a look at my offers for you. And if you want, you can subscribe, you can book a coaching, you can have an energy field reading so that I can tell you what the universe and the highest energy guides and your guides, your spiritual guides, are telling you. So that is very, very interesting. And now, let's start. So today I want to talk about the characteristics of a false twin. And I think you know when you had a false twin already, or when you have a false twin in your life, that there is a connection between you two. There is a connection, and it is a deeper connection, and maybe you fall in love with each other, or you fall in love with the other person, with the false twin, and you are in love and you are happy for a while. And after a while, you will get to know the real person behind your feelings and behind your being in love. And then you will see the main characteristics of this person. And maybe you can find one of the things I will tell you right now in this person so that you can have an overview. Okay, is it my twin flame or is it a false twin? Because sometimes it is very difficult to have the difference between these two. The first sign that you have a false twin in your life is that he or she has not much time for you. So maybe you drove hundreds of kilometers or miles to your false twin and you want to have a good time, and you are on your way to him or her all day, and unfortunately he or she has time for you, but just maybe for an hour or for 2 hours or half an hour, and then tells you or is telling you that he or she has other things to do and is going away. And you didn't know what's going on because you were happy and you thought, that would be a great day or weekend or whatever. And he or she doesn't want to give you time. So you are not a part of his or her life. And don't want to be longer with you than a special time, and then goes away. And the second characteristic is that he or she is going to date other persons or write with other persons, chat with other persons, and is flirting with other persons. And maybe if you are near him or her, or if he or she is alone over channels in social media or something like that. And it can hurt you if you get to know that he or she is doing this and maybe writes with other persons or even date. And it has nothing to do with respect for you or worth for you. And that is a real characteristic sign for a false twin. And maybe he or she is in a relationship, or he is married, or she is married, or he or she is dating other persons because there's so much fear to be alone. And they don't want to be alone. He or she don't want to be alone. He wants always a person around him or her, and he may knew or she may knew that the relationship he's in or she is in is not working, or not working emotionally. Maybe it works and it is a functional relationship, but it is not working in an emotional, in a deeper level, and that's fine. That's fine. That's what a false twin want. And there's no way that he or she is going to leave this relationship for you, or the marriage for you. This is what he or she is always telling you, and there are so many reasons why he or she can't get out of this relationship, and the connection with you and the time which you have together doesn't matter, because it is nice for him or her, but it doesn't have the sense that he is or she is going away from the actual functional relationship he or she has. Yeah. And the next part is that there's always the theme of connection and disconnection. That means one person wants to have a connection and wants to stay in contact and wants to be in contact with the false twin, and the false twin just don't want it. And there are times when he or she doesn't call you or don't write you for hours, for days, for weeks, and without any warning. He or she is just going away and don't say anything, and you don't know what's going on right now, what is maybe not right with you. You are searching the answers in you, in yourself. What did you do wrong or something like that? But he or she is not available for you for many times, days and hours. And that's a typical sign. That's a really typical sign. And this is because he or she is even afraid, because maybe you can look behind the wall of your false twin. You can look behind it. You can see what's happening with him or her, and what the real task of the false twin are. And you can see through every wall, and that's what makes him or her fear, and what causes fear. Yeah. And that's a feeling he or she don't want to feel. In a relationship with your twin flame, and I told about it before, you will also have these connection and disconnection times, and there are times when you stay in contact and there are times when you are not staying in contact. But it is always with the intention of love. It's not because of the fear. Maybe in some part of the process, one of your twin flame or you have fear to open up, to open to love, to open to you, and that's normal. But the intention behind it is not because of fear, and he or she don't want to leave his comfort zone and stay in that because it is fine and is functional, and everything is all right, and nobody can touch him or her in a emotional way. And that's not with your twin flame, because you feel that he or she has to go away for a while because there are things to do, he has tasks to do, and he or she is doing his homework. And with a false twin, you will never get the intention that he or she is going to do homework. No, never. Because everything is fine, yeah? And the false twin is very, very often in the ego and wants to not that you are going in your highest potential, and wants you that you stay the same and don't change. You has to stay the same, because when you are staying the same, he can manipulate you more. And that's what he or she is doing all the time, because you will get to know that your false twin is in a psychological way sick. That means there are some psychological disorders like narcism or borderline or something like that. And my experiences are with narcissism, and that's what I'm talking about. And that's what I mean when the other person wants not that you change and you live your highest potential, because it could be dangerous. It could be dangerous because when you say what you want, when you are staying to yourself and know your worth and everything like that, the other person has no more power over you and cannot control you. And that's what a narcissism is doing and what it is all about, because there's so much fear that it changes in control, and that means they control you. And example for this is that he or she is going to get you away from spirituality. For example, if you are talking about, oh, I read a book and I do my work, I work with my inner child and I'm healing and so on, you will hear something like, oh, that's awful, oh, why did you do that, and don't be stupid, or something like that. All these things will come up, and a false twin will tell it to you. And it doesn't matter if he or she is hurting you, it's just what it is, because then you are not, as I said it before, in control of a false twin. And the other thing is that you will get to know that you are bending yourself, that you are not yourself anymore because you want to be good for him and good for her, and you do everything for him and for her. And that's what a false twin, and especially narcissism, also want. Another characteristic of a false twin is that he is not, or she is not, the giver, and he or she don't want to give you anything. And that means he or she is not wanting to give you attention, interest, don't ask you any question about how you are, how your life is going, and something like that. It's always the fact that it's just around himself or herself. It's just going over problems, and other problems, and you are the person who wants to help. You want to help him or her because you are in love, and you are loving this person, and you want that the other person is feeling well and is feeling good, and so you are doing anything for him and for her, and don't get to know that your energy level lows and lows more and more, and then there will be a time where you are empty, where there's no more energy left in your field, and you are feeling just empty and didn't know what to do, because the other person takes all your energy from you and has to get it to be alive. And that means if he or she is don't want to give you anything beside of sexuality, then it is no words of respect or for your worth, or is telling you, oh, I'm happy that you are in my life, and thank you that you are here, or something like that. There's no loving connection from the other person and from a false twin to you. And that is even also a really big sign that you are in love with the false twin and not with your twin flame, because with your twin flame you will always have the respect and you will always have the love to each other, and it doesn't matter what the problems are and what the problems you have to solve together or alone. It doesn't matter. You are always in a connection of love, and under your problems, I didn't think that the word problem is the right word, because I see every problem as a challenge to yourself. So behind every challenge there is the love, and with your false twin you will feel that behind every challenge stands the false twin, and you want that he or she is happy, and it doesn't matter what you have to give for him or her, because you want that he or she is happy, not you and yourself. And that's what I mean when I'm talking about that you are bending yourself, and then there's nothing left from you, from yourself, from your personality, from the thing, because you are giving and giving and giving, and there's nothing that is coming back to you. Yeah. The same thing is that you are telling, oh, I love you, and so you are telling what you are feeling, what your emotions are like, and so on, and there's nothing, really nothing, that comes back from your false twin. And after a while, you will get to know that they are just playing a role. Yeah, you can see behind the walls of the false twin, you can see that it is just a role he or she has given to him or herself to not feel anything. Yeah, the feelings are not there anymore because they don't want to look at it. There are some traumas in the past life or in the childhood, and they don't want to feel it anymore, so they cut it off. And that's why they don't have feelings anymore for anybody. Yeah. And then you will get to know that's another characteristic, that you don't have the same values and you don't have the same visions of your life. So maybe at first everything is fine and you have a good time, and that's okay. That's really okay. But then you maybe think about it, and yeah, and that's the point where you figure out that you have values and your false twin have other values, or they're not in the right order. Yeah. Maybe an example is that you have the value of honesty, and it is for you, it is number one of your values, and your false twin has this value also, but it is number 35 or 100, and it doesn't matter. So he or she is going to lie to you because, yeah, he's telling what he wants. And she is telling or lying to you about maybe dating or other persons or something like that, because it is not necessary and it's not important for your false twin. And that's a point which you will figure out in after a while, and if there is a little time. The same thing is with your visions. So when you want to live on the beach and the other person want to live in the mountains, it could be that there's maybe no way together, or you find a place where both of it exists, but it's it's working in a different way. And yeah, then there's another point. I told about it before. He or she will never ever tell you that he is in love or she is in love with you. Yeah, it could be that there's a sentence like, oh, I like you. Okay, fine. And you are giving and telling everything, and and the other person is just, okay, I like you, but nothing more, and that's honest. In that case, that's an honest answer. Yeah. And the last point I would like to mention is that you will get to know that you are obsessed. It's like a addiction to the other person. It's really like an addiction. You think about him or her the whole day, and it's like you want that he or she is writing you and texting you or calling you or emailing or write an email or whatever all the time. It's like an addiction. And the same is at the beginning with your twin flame. But after a while, you will get to know that you don't need the other person because you are happy with yourself, and it's not necessary to stay in contact all the time because you are feeling each other all the time and so on. But with your false twin, you will have the addiction all the time till you cut this, till you cut this emotional thing between you off. You have to cut it off, because otherwise you can't go your own way and be happy with yourself in your way. Yeah. So that are the main points I wanted to talk to you about, and I hope that you have an overview and maybe you can see now that you have a false twin in your life, because in my experience with the coachings, there were many women, especially women and also men, who are in a connection with a false twin and not with your twin flame. So look at it. Yeah, look at it. How do you feel? If you're feeling empty, if you're feeling that you are always there for the other person and nothing is coming to you back, he or she don't have time for you, there's nothing he or she is giving you, and you can want attention and more attention, but it's not working, and he or she don't want that you change and something like that, it is a sign that it is a false twin. And then you have the answer by yourself, and you can have a look if you want to live with this false twin anymore. Yeah. So thank you for listening. You can write a comment if you want, or you can write an email. Don't forget to subscribe if you like this episode, and yeah, hear you next time. Have a nice day. Bye.